All right, for the next few minutes, we're going to talk about fall protection, maintenance, inspection, assembly, and disassembly. There's a lot of different kind of fall protection systems. There are some things that are true for all of them. You should be able to assemble them correctly, disassemble them correctly, use them properly, and then also to be able to successfully inspect them with a degree of competence. A system can be a great system, but if it's poorly installed or maintained, it's not going to save your life. And that's really what we're on about here, is to try to make sure that you are not injured, badly injured, or killed. So that's why we're having this discussion about fall protection, maintenance, inspection, assembly, and disassembly. Now, when it comes to anchorage points need to be inspected daily to ensure they're free of wear and damage. Temperature may affect them, stretching may affect them. So then, for example, if you're looking at your horizontal lifelines on your beam posts, they need to be inspected daily. You're using those as anchorage points. Personally, you have anchorage points on your harness system. We're going to talk about how to inspect those in a little bit. Don't expect someone else to inspect for you. If someone else inspects for you and they miss something, and then there gets to be a critical point at which something occurs, they are not going to be the person who's injured or killed. It's going to be you. So that's the reason why this becomes important for you to consider. Anchorage points need to be inspected daily. Also, harnesses, another one of the important parts of any system, they have to be inspected daily as well for wear and damage. When you're inspecting, especially because you're iron workers, because you're welding, you're around torches, you're around grinders, all of those generate heat, all of those generate sparks. And although a harness is a sturdy piece of equipment, it is, for all intents and purposes, basically plastic. So it's going to melt, it's going to be affected by heat, and you are generating heat in the work that you do a good bit of the time. When you're welding, when you're cutting with a torch, when you're grinding, all of those things will affect your harness. So you want to be able to be sure that there aren't cuts or there are not melts in your load bearing, in the load bearing part of it, especially. The padding, we can work with the padding, but look especially on the critical parts that are holding the whole thing together. Those are very, very important. So when you look at it very critically. If you open your lanyard hooks, you should be able to open them, then take your hand away and they should self-close. There shouldn't be any stoppage there. If there is, find out why. Is there just dirt down in the device? Has the device been tweaked? Has it been turned sideways? What exactly is the issue there? Also, with lanyards, you want to stretch them out. You want to see if anywhere on the lanyard there's any kind of damage as a result of the fact that it's been up against something hot. Has it been melted? Has slag or anything fallen while you were welding and affected it in any way? Also, look at the belt to see if the belt on your harness, if the grommets are starting to distort or if they're starting to pull out. Once again, these are all things that need to be addressed when you look at your harness. I would suggest to you that you do not leave your harness on site. Take it home with you. Don't put it in the gang box. I understand it's a lot easier, but at the end of the day, there's a couple of factors that affect that. If you get a call and have to go somewhere else, you're going to have to go to retrieve all of that. If you have to go home, have to stay home the next day, or have to take your child to the hospital for some reason, and you're not at work, then stuff gets scattered. So my suggestion is that you take your stuff home with you, keep track of it so that if you have to go to a different job site tomorrow, you will have everything with you that you need. Um, Check your harness when you get done with lunch. If you've been welding all morning and you've been raining down sparks on you, you take it off, you go eat. Before you put it back on, you should look at it. Your harness should be inspected every time before use. So keep these things in mind. We'll go on to talk about a few more things in just a few minutes, but for the moment, I wanted to talk to you about harnesses and about anchorage points.